Yeah, that's right. Welcome and welcome back, folks, to a nothing's ever easy for Notre Dame, but ultimately they got the job done and won the Gator Bowl edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thank you for being here. Give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, why not do it now? Notifications on, that way you'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. And of course, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can get me 312-988-15. Let me know about what you heard and seen. Fighting Irish Wire. Make it a part of your Google Notre Dame daily routine articles every day. So here's the deal. What a wild game. What a wild game. And really, if you think about it, it was most appropriate. Look at Notre Dame's year. Up, down, bad, good, kind of in the middle, really bad, really good against Clemson, good, bad, all over the place. This ball game represented that. All over the place, really high, good stuff, really low, bad stuff, some stuff in the middle. You got a little bit of everything. I say it all the time. You watch Notre Dame, you age more than a president. It's just nothing comes easy for Notre Dame. But let's start here right away. Let's start right here, okay? Most important part. Good win. And unlike a lot of people who do this, unlike a lot of people in this niche that I'm in, competing in this Notre Dame content, I'm willing to admit something I might have been a little off on. Okay? I'm big enough to admit that. Reflecting on this win and how it feels, I think this game was a bigger deal than I gave it credit for reasons beyond my emotional capacity. I'm mad at the 4 losses. I hate the 4 losses. I want to be in a playoff game, all nervous about that. That's not our dynamic, so I admit I entered the game with a sour mood. I admit that. This is all about being real, and I admit that. But now that we got this win, I'm seeing big deal for Marcus. Get that bowl monkey off your back. He's not 0-2 and have people asking those questions. Buckner, how could you not be happy for Tyler Buckner? All the mistakes and what didn't go right, at the end of the day, he won the game and you got to be happy for him. Man, you could say as a Notre Dame fan whatever you want to say about what you think of Tyler Buckner or Drew Pine or Ian Book, and if they're all good enough quarterbacks to get Notre Dame over the ultimate hump and all that discussion. Say what you will about those guys' skill level or cap, but my God, they all give their all for Notre Dame. All 3 of them have given their all for Notre Dame. So I'm thrilled for Tyler Buckner and Marcus Freeman, and in a way, Tommy Rees. They all had to have a pretty good showing, and they ended up with a win. All right, here's the other thing. So I admit I probably underplayed the importance of this ball game out of my own frustrations that we entered it with 4 losses, and I don't like that. And in a lot of ways, I was and am happy this year's over. Awkward calibration year. Kelly's flawed roster, new coaching staff, Marcus trying to find his way, quarterback problems all year, day 1 quarterback problem with Buckner injured, rough, man. It's just a lot. And so to be able to get this win, I feel like I probably underestimated the value of it. And here's the other part of this. The other part of this is Notre Dame played an up-and-coming SEC team. I know they had a bunch of people out, whatever, I know. An up-and-coming SEC team with a energetic young coach. Notre Dame did not play a clean ball game. Made a bunch of big mistakes on both sides of the ball. and we're still able to win. That is a very, very good sign. My number one preference is you come out and you play great and we win the game and it's never in doubt, and you play good the whole time and we win. But if I'm not going to get that performance for whatever reason, the next best thing is knowing that Notre Dame doesn't have to be perfect to win a game like this. And that's what you saw. Notre Dame made a lot of mistakes, still ended up finding a way to win the game. Good job. Good job. And so we can complain about stuff if we want, officiating, a couple pick sixes, a special teams play giving up a touchdown. The defense at times early in the game looked iffy. Secondary looked iffy at times. All of that. All of that. Here's the next point. Even just from last night, even before this bowl game, this fan base, I swear to God, is 50-50 on Tommy Rees is bad, send him to the NFL. Or Tommy Rees is really good, this is going to get better in the next couple years, and I'm excited. Even before this game, that was the sentiment. And now this game happened, it's still the sentiment. People still don't know. Some of what we saw in this bowl game I loved, and some of it there's no answer for, and I hate it. It's just the way it is. Now, if this Hartman thing comes through and he ends up being the starter next year, which I think will happen either via he was told if you come here for your sixth last year eligibility, you're going to start, or even if he was told you're going to have to compete for it, that's a guy who believes he's going to beat out Tyler Buckner. That doesn't affect him. The good news is, either way, if that plays out the way I think it is, you're going to have Hartman as your starter next year. You're going to get the answers you want on Tommy Rees. You are. Either you're going to see that this offense really opens up, expands, takes off, becomes more electric and more exciting under the first guy Tommy will have with this skill set and experience and accolades and body of work that does what he wants. Either you're going to see that really take off or you're not. And if you don't, and it doesn't take off with our offensive line, the running backs, tight ends, and then this quarterback, that's a problem. So I think if the Hartman thing comes through the way it looks like it's going to, Tom Lloyd putting in the crystal balls for Notre Dame to land him, if that's the case, Rees does not have, and no Notre Dame fan has the fallback of, you can't really blame Rees because he doesn't have the quarterback he needs to work with to fairly be judged. That's going to be out. So then you're going to get your pure answers next year. Right? So that's kind of how I see that going. We had this debate this morning. I did the live show and everybody was debating what's going to happen with Tyler Buckner if Hartman comes. I don't know, because there's no world where I see Buckner beating out Hartman to be the starter next year if Hartman comes. I do not see that in the cards. I just don't. So then I don't know what happens. Is Buckner willing to be a backup to Hartman and then compete with a coming off a red shirt, probably Minchie, and then five-star Carr the next year? I don't know what's going to happen, but there's an interesting dynamic brewing here. And I didn't even mention Angeli, so you don't know. That room's getting crowded, and it's been crowded before, but now it's going to be crowded in a better way with more talent. How's it going to shape out? I don't know. So, offense, I mean, a lot to like, a lot not to like. Buckner, a lot to love, and a lot to hate. I don't know. Rees, a lot to love, a lot to hate. Welcome to Notre Dame 2022. It is what it is. That's what Notre Dame's been in 2022. It's wild, isn't it? It's just, and the other thing is, When you look at Buckner's night in totality, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, responsible for 5 total for Notre Dame, and then also 2 more if you want to add on touchdowns responsible for. But for the other team, it's just that body of work. The 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, like it's so perfect for what you get when you're running a quarterback out there who's low on snaps and reps. And then he feels the pressure to perform when he can't get out there. What we saw for Buckner was probably what we should have expected. Some flashy on the good end and some on the bad end. But I do say this, whatever I did expect or didn't expect, 2 pick sixes and 1 of 100 yards wasn't on the list of what I expected. Rough. It's rough. And it's like, well, that's what happens when you have a quarterback who doesn't have a lot of snaps and experience. I don't know how many more he's going to get if Hartman's the starter next year, and then we go into Minchie Carr after that. That's where this gets so interesting. You could see the flashes in Buckner. He just needs more snaps. I don't know if he's going to get them. Like meaningful starter reps. I don't know. So nothing is black and white with Notre Dame football. Reese's game plan, love it, hate it. Buckner, love it, hate it. Good starter next year or not. Staying or going, all of it. Tommy, good and bad, I don't know. Buckner, good and bad, I don't know. What do you guys think about the defense? What do you think about the defense? It seemed downright bad at times. Started off terrible, the same way they started off against USC. But at the same time, 3 of their scores came from pick sixes and a special team trick play. Held them to 65 yards rushing, which is a winning effort. And also, I'm mad. I just threw this piece of paper out. I had the stats showing the yardage from the quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as the game went on, Notre Dame started to dictate that yardage all the way up until the 4th quarter, where it was 200-something yards offense for Notre Dame, 33 for them. That's a good progression of that game against a scary, bad boy SEC team. They're going to wear you down. Every game in this league's tough and all that. Notre Dame wore them down. 200 yards to there in the low 30s. Low 30s. So here's where I'm at with this defense. It's frustrating. I look at 21 of their points came off pick sixes, special team play. I could argue the one long touchdown they had in the second half was incomplete. I saw the guy kick up white dirt, white dust, white debris. The white was in the out of bounds. If his foot kicked it up, he had to land on it. So you could be frustrated with that defense for a lot of things. And then also they shorted up and it ended up not being that bad. And they clamped down as the game went on. So there's so many aspects in Notre Dame right now where you could argue both sides of it and probably make an argument that's accurate. There's a lot up for interpretation and eye of the beholder with this program right now. And it's exciting because I think whatever's going to come next is going to be better. This is all a starting point, a calibration point. I've said it before. Freeman knows where he wants to get. But for him to know how to get there, he has to know exactly where he's starting from. And that's what all of this year was. That big initial calibration point. And so with all this, the offense, the defense, the quarterbacks, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to not like. One of the big things I need Notre Dame to do overall, I get it. Year one, all the instability and the changes and the learning everything new. consistency. Like they're going into next year, there has to be a baseline of consistency on both sides of the ball that we know we're going to get as a baseline, and it may even get better every week. Right now, Notre Dame's way too inconsistent, both sides of the ball. And it's like with the defense, and you take out the points they weren't involved in, and then you show the yardage. We made adjustments, clamped down second half. Good job, by the way. Actually, some decent adjustments were made on both sides of the ball by the Irish. Good job in that second half overall. But this Notre Dame defense clamped up, made some plays, did enough to win the game. I also feel like all three levels of that defense should be better than they're playing this year. I do. I feel like all three levels of that defense, and I felt it in the bowl game, they should just be better. Get more production. Morrison goes out. Lewis exposed right away on the back end. Bad. Linebackers, not good enough all damn year. Linebacker play, not good enough all year. Defensive front, I know Foskey, whatever. I'm just telling you, I have a little bit of anxiety moving forward that we're a little light, and that makes us vulnerable up front, and I don't like it. Who's your play-wrecking, big-body disruptors up there next year? I have a little anxiety about that. Okay? So there's a lot of things to clean up. There's a lot of questions on both sides of the ball. But you know what? Going into the offseason, Notre Dame is trending up. You're trending up. All right? You're coming off this win. The talent is going to get better. Okay? Talent coming in. You're in position to maybe land a higher level quarterback to rely on. Everything's trending up. And when you're done with your last game of the year, that's what I'm looking for. How are you trending? We're trending up. All right? You get this quarterback, you're trending up even more. Okay? So it's a good spot to be. But I'm not gonna lie. A large part of me is relieved that this season's over. Calibration, unknowns, inherited roster, all those reasons. This year was always going to be a little unsteady as everybody finds their footing and finds their way. I'm glad it's over. And I say this all the time. I'll say it again. Every minute we get 1 minute further away from Kelly and into Freeman, more pressure shifts to Freeman. Every day, every year, every month, every recruiting cycle, every week, however you want to look at it. That's the fairest way to do this. The more steps we take away from Kelly, the pressure shifts to Marcus. So you got your 4 losses this year, a lot of adversity, injury, whatever. We know it. That's over. You don't have that leeway. The rest of Freeman's tenure is 10, 11, 12 wins every single year. Has to be. Has to be the bar. You got your one calibration point year, whatever. Moving forward, that's what I need. There is no more under 10 wins no matter what. I don't care if the whole offense gets hit by a bus. This is all over. You got your calibration year. That was it. Now we get serious. 10, 11, 12 wins minimum no matter what. Moving forward no matter what. That's it. That's where this needs to get and go. Permanently. So, overall, happy for everybody involved. Freeman, Reese, Buckner, good job. Got the win. Al Golden, whatever. It's just Notre Dame makes it so hard on Notre Dame. Nothing just looks like it's easy for Notre Dame to get done ever. And it's really frustrating. It's wild. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? Let me know. And the other thing is, if the order of this seems a little off, it's because of the days. I just got done doing the live call-in show after the game, so it's all mixed up to me, what I covered in that and what I'm covered in the recorded recap, just because 2.5 hours blends together. I don't even remember what I covered or didn't yet. So I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you think. But trending up, way to fight back, come back from a big deficit, get this win. Things are looking bright for the Irish. How bright? Depends on what happens. Some things need to go our way and develop. Let me know what you think or what I missed, guys. Have a good one.